How do federal laws create uneven playing fields for states? Have you ever wondered how federal laws can create different experiences for people living in various states? The answer lies in the way these laws interact with state policies. The United States operates under a federal system, meaning both the federal government and state governments have their own powers. However, when conflicts arise, federal law usually takes precedence. One major factor is the Supremacy Clause of the United States Constitution. This clause states that federal law overrides any conflicting state laws. But this does not always lead to the same outcomes across all states. For example, federal laws can preempt state laws in some areas while allowing states to maintain their own rules in others. This can lead to a situation where some states fully comply with federal laws, while others partially comply or even resist. Take marijuana laws as an example. The federal government prohibits marijuana, but many states have legalized it for medical or recreational use. This creates a legal mess where enforcement varies widely, leading to confusion and inconsistency. States also have different policies in areas like labor, healthcare, and environmental standards. When federal laws impose certain standards, states with stricter or more lenient laws may find themselves at an advantage or disadvantage. For instance, a state with tougher environmental regulations may face higher costs compared to a state with fewer restrictions, impacting businesses and economic growth. Federal laws can also create economic burdens. Some regulations may disproportionately affect states based on their economic structure. If a federal law raises production costs, states with specific industries may struggle more than others. This can lead to competitive imbalances in interstate commerce. Another aspect to consider is federal funding. The federal government often provides financial incentives or imposes conditions on states. If a state cannot or chooses not to meet these conditions, it may lose funding. This can widen the gap in public services and policy implementation across states. Administrative capacity plays a role too. States have different resources and political will to enforce federal laws. This can lead to uneven enforcement and varying outcomes. For example, public health responses can differ significantly from one state to another based on how willing or able they are to implement federal guidelines. In practice, while federal laws set a baseline, states have a lot of discretion in how they implement these laws. This results in a patchwork of policies across the country. Businesses and individuals may face different regulations depending on where they live, creating challenges for national coherence in areas like health and safety. Ultimately, federal laws create uneven playing fields by establishing uniform rules that interact differently with each state's unique policies and priorities. States must navigate these federal mandates while pursuing their own goals, often leading to conflicts and legal challenges. This dynamic shapes the relationship between state and federal governments and impacts everyday life for citizens across the nation.